Our descent reveals a large wooden wreck, resting silently on the seabed for more than 3 centuries.
The structure matches an early 18th century Dutch East India Company vessel. The ship's name, Vianen, is still visible beneath layers of decay. The VOC emblem confirms this was a Dutch East India Company trader. The hull has collapsed, exposing the cargo hold to the sea. Trade goods still lie where they fell when the ship went down. Silver coins from global trade remain buried beneath the silt. A cargo chest sits unopened for centuries, locked in decay. Inside, gold meant for trade still glints through centuries of corrosion. The Vianen's final cargo remains frozen in time on the ocean floor.
We proceed carefully, as centuries of decay have left the interior extremely fragile.
These porcelain pieces were mass-produced for European markets. Even after centuries underwater, identifying marks remain visible.
The silver has fused together under years of mineral buildup.
The stern has collapsed into a wooden ribcage. Defensive cannons protected valuable cargo from piracy.
Manufacturing marks confirm its early 18th century origin.
Company markings appear throughout the wreck.
This shipwreck offers a rare snapshot of global trade at its height.
We circle the exterior to understand how the ship finally failed. Structural damage suggests the ship was driven onto a reef during a storm. Even the anchor carries identification marks from the shipyard. The debris field stretches far beyond the hull.
Gold intended for Asian trade still lies where it fell. These metals once fueled the global economy. A second diver documents the scale of the find.
Every movement must be slow to preserve what remains. The Vianen's cargo still tells its story 300 years later.
We focus on the stern, where the crew once lived and worked. Personal belongings hint at the lives lost here. Navigation instruments were rendered useless in the wreck. The stern suffered the worst structural damage.
Even broken cargo still carries markings.
Trade containers now serve as shelter for marine life. The stern has become an underwater ruin. Metal fittings show advanced corrosion after centuries submerged.
This section marks the ship's final collapse.
Beyond the stern, Debris marks the final moments of the sinking.
Crates burst open as the ship struck the seabed.
Time has fused the cargo into the sea floor itself.
Rigging hardware remains locked in place. The wreck site spreads across a wide area.
Smaller containers are scattered far from the main hull.
Even minor trade items were lost with the ship. Every object here tells part of the voyage's story.
We return our focus to the ship itself.
The Vianen remains a silent witness to early global trade.
We return to the bow to examine how the ship first struck.
The bow shows signs of violent impact.
Deck fittings remain locked in place despite total decay. The deck railings collapsed long ago.
Cargo spilled forward as the ship broke apart.
Navigation tools were lost alongside the cargo.
Despite corrosion, markings can still be identified.
Artifacts are left exactly where they rest.
Time has reshaped the ship's original form.
The bow marks the beginning of the ship's final descent.
We investigate an unexplored area near the wreck.
A smaller vessel may have broken free during the sinking.
Sediment has completely filled what remains. Deck equipment was dragged down with it.
A trail of debris leads back to the ship. Every fragment marks the ship's violent breakup.
Security hardware shows cargo was once tightly controlled.
Nothing here has been disturbed since the wreck. The main structure still dominates the site.
The scale of the loss becomes clear from a distance.
We return to the heart of the wreck for final documentation. We return to the heart of the wreck for final documentation.
These gold bars remain exactly where they settled.
Company stamps confirm ownership and origin. Multiple trade goods rest together in the hold.
The cargo hold tells the full story of the voyage. Weights like this were used to measure valuable goods.
Trade precision mattered, even centuries ago.
We begin to pull back from the site. Distance reveals the wreck as a single, broken form.
The ship rests undisturbed beneath the sea.
Final passes ensure nothing is overlooked. The ship's identity remains etched into the wreck. Company markings confirm the ship's role in global trade. These symbols once represented immense economic power.
The wreck site tells a complete story, from bow to stern.
Documentation complete, we prepare to leave.
The Vianen returns to darkness as we ascend. Much of the harbour floor remains unexplored. The ship fades from view.
Only the ocean remains.
The story of the Vianen stays preserved below. We return briefly to examine additional debris away from the main hull. These trade jars were scattered during the sinking. Even minor silver items remain untouched after centuries underwater. A small cargo chest survived the wreck intact.
Gold and coins remain as they were when lost.
The scattered cargo tells a story of chaos during the sinking. Weapons from the ship remain rusted and decayed.
Markings hint at the cannon's origin and age.
Every fragment here preserves the story of the ship's final moments. The Vianen rests undisturbed, a silent testament beneath the waves.